pawn now. OK, the computer here, Stockfish, does suggest 3 moves, and the top 2 moves are not actually being greedy now and taking this white pawn next to the black rook.
Ah.
OK, Praggnanandhaa doesn't go for one of the top 3 moves, but he doesn't take the pawn, so he's not being greedy. He's keeping the white king sidelined, though. The white king is cut off from the action. This one is so hard to call. Again, I don't know whether objectively it's winning or not, or whether it might be a draw. White's rook now is coming. It wants to go behind the black f-pawn, and, OK, temporarily at least, Pragg is 2 pawns up.
Ding has been able to build up his clock, but for Pragg it's still very dramatic on the clocks. But the bar keeps liking it for Pragg.
Yeah.
There must be something here.
It must be winning, surely. 2 pawns up in a rook endgame.
But
the question is, what next?
The black rook is really passive now, and it's tied eternally to the defense of the f3 pawn. And is this going to be a real hindrance to black? And I think it is, actually, because white's rook very active, and it gives a check.
Yeah, so in a way, white is just going to check, just annoy the black king. In a way, white is just going to wait with the white rook somewhere. But the black rook, how can it ever move without giving up the pawn next to the white king? Yeah, the black rook, you're right, Jovanka, it is a bit stuck.
I mean,
and if that black pawn does disappear, if it's 2 versus 1, it should still be a draw, some winning chances. But objectively, with correct play, it should be a draw. So it's just about whether black can activate his rook and keep his 3rd pawn.
The other option that I see for black is actually to try to advance his own pawns and try to make sure that the lone ranger there on f3 gets some company.
Yeah, and you can do that with baby steps. Here, black's just going to push one of his pawns, I feel, and one of the 2 pawns that hasn't moved yet. Push it 1 square, 2 squares, 1 square. Keep those pawns nice and safe, then you bring the king down, then you push the other pawn, then you push kind of step by step.
Caterpillar is what I call it.
Caterpillar.
Yeah.
Because the king is so important in the end game. People say it's worth 3 or 4 points. Even, so yeah, it's important to get it into the middle.
Yeah, especially, I mean, the more pieces that disappear, the more kings kind of can play their role.
Oh, it seems so scary, though. I always think it seems so scary.
Yeah, it does, but here comes the king. The good thing is white will never checkmate the black king because white only has a rook. You need at least 2 or 3 pieces to checkmate. So the black king can happily wander into the centre of the board.
So Ding is happy with the draw now.
Ding would. I mean, he's on his knees begging for the draw at the moment. But Praggnanandhaa won't give it to him easily. It's just about whether the black king or the black pawns can advance. The black rook at the bottom of the board and the pawn near it, they are stuck for now.
Do you think another baby step will happen?
Possibly. If the white rook is going to give some annoying checks to the black king. That's the problem right now. How is Pragg going to win this one? If Pragg tries to go, if he tries to sprint forward and try to go for a queen, if the black f-pawn pushes down 1 square away from promotion, the white king is going to come back and kind of track it. So the black king running back to safety. Kaya, you're right. The black king was just a bit too scared of the open there.
Yeah. Is this a game where we have to keep track of last pawn to move, last piece to be captured, or is that not an issue yet?
Not yet. So the last pawn move was on, let me check, move 50. So we've made 6 moves only without a pawn move or without a capture. There is a 50 move rule, but long, long way yet. It does feel like Praggnanandhaa at some point, maybe now, can start pushing his other 2 pawns. Black has 2 pawns in reserve.
And look at the bar after Ding moves his king.
Yeah, I think the white king was quite good there because it was kind of blocking the black king from ever coming forward, stopping the black pawns from moving.
OK.
Here they come.
Here it comes, and I agree with you there, David, that white king should not have moved. It should have been the white rook that was doing the heavy lifting. And, OK, I mean, is there a... The white king now has to step forward, right?
Possibly. Black's king actually can kind of use its own pawns as shelter. The black king might come round the H-file, it might come round the other way, while the white rook, OK, here it goes first, but it's going to hide behind its own pawns. And here we go. Pragg is going to hide his king, surely on the G5 square, opposite the white king. Oh, no, it comes to the centre. Oh, that's so clever, because now we have to show this trick. I thought this route... Look at Ding shaking his head. I thought this route was just blocked off, the black king coming in now to win this white pawn. I thought it was impossible because white's rook can go and win the black pawn, but Pragg had spotted that he can skewer now the king to the white rook, and he wins the white rook, and Pragg is going to take this game. If white's rook cannot go and grab this pawn, there's nothing you can do. The black king's just coming in. Even if you cut it off, even if you cut off the king's advance, then now the black pawn is just going to step forward and protect its buddy here. And once this pawn is protected, the black rook is free. Pragg, perfect technique. He's going to win now.
Wow, making a comeback in the match after losing the first game. How impressive by the 16-year-old. The bar now saying 7 advantage.
And it looks like Ding has resigned.
It's over. And now, Heidi, maybe it's possible to read Ding's body language.
Yeah, but yeah, he does not seem too happy right now. And Praggnanandhaa, you could see he had like this sigh.
Yeah.
It looked like he was very happy about this.
Yeah, he has made a comeback, the 16-year-old. They are now tied after 2 games. Liren and Praggnanandhaa, both of them winning with the black pieces. And what a performance by Pragg in this game. Both of the players still sitting by the computers, looking over this. And the question is, where is that big moment when Pragg did get the win? He needed. Let's take a look.